Grab your cup. Have you ever been in a relationship that ended, and after it ended, you can't stop thinking about that person, even if, or sometimes especially if, they didn't treat you very well, they didn't really pay attention to what you wanted and what your needs were. Maybe they even cheated on you, but you can't stop thinking about that person. You're really tied to them. A couple of things are going on. Number one, your energy is tied to them, right? We share an energy with people all the time, and you haven't yet broken that energetic connection, especially if it's somebody you were in a long relationship with or you have children with. That's a particular connection that you have energetically, okay? The other thing is you're needing validation from them. So if you're wanting them to hurt as much as you are, or again, you just can't stop thinking of them, wondering if they're thinking of you, it comes from a place in yourself that you haven't yet learned to bring validation to yourself. So being validated is a sign of knowing that we're important. It's a sign of recognizing the significance of who we are as a human being. And that is a basic need for all of us. That's just part of being here, is we want to know that we matter. It's basic, it's wired into us, okay? When you didn't learn that you mattered growing up, what we do is we look for that outside of us all the time. We look to be validated that who I am makes a difference. So when a relationship ends and it was important to you, you want to know it was important to them so that you feel validated for what you brought to the relationship, for how you showed up, just for who you are. And very often, people who have not yet learned, I say not yet because you always can. Just because you didn't get it when you were younger doesn't mean you can't learn that now. So people who haven't yet learned how to validate themselves and how to look inside for their love instead of getting it outside. When you love yourself inside, you bring a very different person to a relationship, and then you find a very different person as well. So the validation comes from, am I important and am I loved? Because I don't know that myself. I don't know how to do that myself. That's what's driving that. So when you haven't learned that yet, you're looking for people who will bring that to you. When you teach yourself how to love yourself, when you find your importance and your significance and your validation from within, then you bring a really different person to any relationship. And guess what? You're not going to wind up with somebody who doesn't make you feel great. You're not going to wind up with somebody who doesn't pay attention to what you want and need. You won't, because you already love and validate yourself, and they're not going to be a match for you. You know what I mean? So if you're noticing that all of your thoughts, I had a client at the beginning of the year, and she came to me saying that a relationship, it had been going on for a few years, and it had ended. It had ended months ago, like back in the fall, probably at least 5 months ago. And she could not stop thinking about him. She could not stop wondering what he was doing, hoping she ran into him. And he wasn't even nice to her. He was oftentimes dismissive, oftentimes put her last on his list of priorities. She felt that all the time, and yet now that they were broken up, all she wanted was to know what he was doing and what he was hear from him. So that comes from her own missing of validation and love. You can learn that. You can get that for yourself. It doesn't matter how well, I don't care if you're 80, you could do that. You can learn that now and change your whole experience of yourself and who you are in relationships. Have a good day.